Imagine waking up one morning to find that the world as you knew it no longer exists. Governments have collapsed, cities are in chaos, and a new global order has taken control. You try to access your bank account, denied. You attempt to buy food, rejected. You reach out to friends and family, silence. And then you realize you have no place in this new world because you lack one thing, the mark. This is not the plot of some dystopian movie. This is a prophecy, a warning, and it is unfolding before our eyes. For centuries, people have speculated about the mark of the beast, what it is, who will receive it, and what happens to those who refuse. Some say it's a microchip. Others believe it's a barcode, a digital ID, or even a vaccine. But what if I told you the true mark is far more terrifying than anyone ever imagined? Because this isn't just about technology, it's about control, it's about allegiance, it's about something far more sinister, something woven into the very fabric of human history. And the scariest part? Many people are already carrying it without even realizing it. What if the mark of the beast is not just coming, but is already here? And worse, what if you have already accepted it? Stay with me until the end of this video because what you're about to hear might change everything you thought you knew. For years, we have been warned. From ancient scriptures to modern conspiracy theories, the mark of the beast has been a subject of fear, speculation, and countless debates. Some dismiss it as religious superstition. Others obsess over it, seeing its shadow in every new technology, every political movement, every global crisis. But here's the truth. This is not a myth, it's not a fantasy, and it's not something we can afford to ignore. Revelation 13:16-17 paints a terrifying picture. It also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. Think about that. No buying, no selling, no survival. What could possibly have that much power? What could force the entire world, every person, in every country, in every social class, to either submit or starve? For centuries, people have tried to interpret this prophecy. Some have pointed to the rise of totalitarian regimes. Others have warned about one-world governments, the control of digital currency, or the increasing power of AI. But what if we've been looking at this the wrong way? Because the true mark of the beast is not just a physical mark. It's something deeper, more insidious, more dangerous. And the horrifying reality? Many people, including those who claim to follow God, may already be carrying it. Are you? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will shake you to your core. Let me tell you a story that may seem like fiction, but it's more real than you could ever imagine. There was a man named Daniel Carter, a hard-working, devoted family man. He went to church every Sunday. He prayed before meals. He considered himself a good person, living a normal life just like you and me. But what Daniel didn't know was that he was already marked. It started subtly. The changes were so small, so gradual, that no one even noticed. First, it was the digital transition. Physical cash started to disappear. Businesses stopped accepting paper money. Everything was becoming linked to a system that knew everything about you, where you went, what you bought, who you associated with. At first, Daniel didn't question it. After all, it was convenient, faster, safer. Then came the restrictions. A new global policy required people to register their identities for online banking, social media, and even grocery stores. They called it a necessary step for security, a protection against fraud and terrorism. If you refused, you were flagged as suspicious, a threat to society. Daniel shrugged it off. He had nothing to hide. He followed the rules. But then they came for his beliefs. A new ethics policy was introduced, banning hateful ideologies. They said it was to promote peace, tolerance, and unity. But Daniel noticed something. His faith was suddenly classified as dangerous. Certain scriptures were flagged as offensive. Prayers at work were discouraged. Pastors who spoke out were silenced, ridiculed, even arrested. Still, Daniel told himself, "That will never happen to me." But the system didn't need him to agree, it only needed his compliance. Then came the final step. The world faced an economic crisis, worse than anything seen before. Inflation skyrocketed, food shortages spread across nations, people were desperate. And then the solution was announced. A new global currency controlled by a single digital ID. A simple scan on your hand or your forehead. No cards, no cash, no passwords, just one seamless mark that verified your identity, your compliance, your loyalty. They called it progress. They called it safety. They called it the future. And then they issued the ultimatum. No one will buy or sell unless they accept it. Daniel's hands trembled as he read the announcement. He rushed to the bank. His account was already frozen. He ran to the grocery store. His old digital payments were declined. He had been erased. He looked around. People were lining up, smiling, willingly receiving the mark, even some from his own church. And then he realized the horrifying truth. This wasn't forced. It never had to be. They made it desirable. They made it convenient. They made it necessary for survival. And worst of all, it was already here. He fell to his knees, whispering the verse he had ignored for so long. Revelation 14:9-10, "If anyone worships the beast and its image and receives its mark on their forehead or on their hand, they too will drink the wine of God's fury." But it was too late. The decision had already been made. What if I told you? This story isn't about the future. What if I told you? This is happening now. We are being conditioned, trained to accept absolute control, to trade freedom for convenience. And the most terrifying part, the mark of the beast isn't just about technology. It's about allegiance. This isn't just a microchip. This isn't just a barcode. This isn't just a financial system. It's about whom you serve. The beast doesn't care whether you take a physical mark. What it wants is your soul. And right now, the world is choosing. Look around. They are banning truth, redefining morality, silencing the faithful, rewarding submission. And one by one, people are accepting it without even realizing it. The mark is not coming. It's already here. The question is, have you already accepted it? But what if I told you there's still hope? That even in the face of complete control, total submission, and an unholy allegiance being forced upon the world, there is a way out? Because here's the truth. The mark of the beast is not just about a physical symbol, it's about a spiritual decision. And right now, you are making that decision every single day, whether you realize it or not. The world is being divided into two groups, those who conform and those who resist. Those who take the mark without question, and those who refuse, no matter the cost. And here's the most dangerous part. This isn't just about governments or global policies, it's about your heart. Jesus warned us in Matthew 24:9, "Then you will be handed over to be persecuted and put to death, and you will be hated by all nations because of me." That time is coming. No, it's already here. They are silencing the truth, censoring the Bible, mocking those who stand firm in their faith. Churches are emptying while the world glorifies sin. What was once unthinkable is now celebrated. What was once evil is now called good. And what was once holy is now despised. And yet, most people still don't see it. Most people are still asleep. They think they are free. They think they are making their own choices. But in reality, they are already marked. Not by ink, not by technology, but by something much worse, by their own submission to a system that hates God. And here's where it gets even scarier. Many who claim to follow Christ have already given in. They bow to the world. They compromise their faith. They blend in, stay silent, go along with the crowd because it's easier, safer, more acceptable. But Jesus was clear. No one can serve two masters. Matthew 6:24. You cannot serve both God and the beast. You cannot stand with both the truth and the lie. You cannot be both faithful and compromised. So let me ask you, Which side are you really on? Because soon, the choice will no longer be subtle. A time is coming when neutrality will no longer be an option, when every person, regardless of their status, wealth, or beliefs, will be forced to decide, when the deception will be so powerful, so absolute, that even the faithful will be tempted to fall. And for those who reject the mark, the world will call them dangerous, a threat to order, an enemy of progress. They will be shut out, silenced, hunted down, and yet they will be the ones truly free. Because here is what the enemy doesn't want you to know. The beast's power is temporary. The system is collapsing. And those who stand firm, those who refuse the mark, who hold on to truth, who endure to the end, they will be saved. Revelation 14:12 says, "This calls for patient endurance on the part of the people of God who keep His commands and remain faithful to Jesus." That is the key. Endurance, faithfulness, strength. The mark of the beast is not about survival. It's about submission. It's about whom you serve, whom you obey, whom you give your soul to. So I'll ask you one last time. Have you already accepted the mark? Or will you stand against it, no matter the cost? The choice is yours.